Hello and welcome to the viewers of this video. This is the Orange Fan here, bringing you another entry for the franchise discussion category. This video will be dedicated to the recap and thoughts for issue 15 of the Young Justice tie-in comics, Here There Be Monsters. We begin this issue in Poseidonis, the capital of Atlantis, on September 6th, where Aqualad, Superboy, and Miss Martian are about to fall asleep in Atlantean sleeping pods. Soon enough, though, Queen Mera contacts Aqualad with her magic to let him know that she's been ambushed by Ocean Master, one of Aquaman's greatest enemies, and the Atlantean Purists, a group of Atlanteans that hold prejudiced views towards Atlanteans that don't resemble surface-dwelling humans, and they plan to rid the capital of the Atlanteans that they deem impure, while Aquaman is away fulfilling his responsibilities as a member of the Justice League, although they're under the mistaken belief that Aquaman would approve of their actions because he is what they would consider a pure Atlantean. In any case, the three Young Justice team members head to the palace to confront Ocean Master and the Atlantean Purists that have captured Queen Mera. Unfortunately, Ocean Master and the Atlantean Purists are able to exit the palace, and the reason that stands out is because there's a spell that makes it so that only defensive magic can be used within the palace, but since they're outside of the palace, that spell doesn't affect them anymore. So Ocean Master is able to use his magic to attack the young heroes and render them unconscious. It's now sometime after midnight, so it's now September 7th, and Orm wakes the young heroes up, and they try to think of a plan to rescue Queen Mera. Orm says that his sources tell him that there are two potential locations that Queen Mera might be held captive at. So Orm and the royal guards that he trusts will go to one of these two locations, while Aqualad, Superboy, and Miss Martian will go to the other of these two locations. The two groups wish each other luck and to make sure that they're able to defeat Ocean Master. But when everyone else is gone, Orm gives himself a knowing smile because, as it was revealed in the previous issue, Part 1, Orm is Ocean Master. Aqualad, Superboy, and Miss Martian arrive at the old Roman trench that is one of the two possible locations that Ocean Master might be located. But they soon see that what's waiting for them is an ambush by Atlantean Purists. In truth, Queen Mera is being held captive in the Satyroman cave, and Ocean Master is preparing the next part of his plan. Queen Mera questions Ocean Master about what he wants, and Ocean Master responds that he wants what he claims is his, but first he wants to take Queen Mera's powers as his own. So he uses Neptune's trident to take Mera's powers, which also drains her life force, which puts not just Queen Mera in danger, but also her and Aquaman's unborn child in danger as well. And Ocean Master starts to say a chant in Atlantean while he's draining Mera's power. So back with the Young Justice team members fighting the Atlantean Purists, we soon see that the Young Justice team members have brought backup with them, namely Aqualad's old classmates. So Tula, Garth, Lagan, Blubber, Shark, and Laurie Lamaris all all arrive to help the Young Justice team members fight off the Atlantean purists. But during the fight, the Atlanteans that the purists would consider impure start to feel weakened. This is the result of Ocean Master's chant that he was saying earlier. So his magic is taking effect to harm the Atlanteans that would not, the Atlanteans that the Atlantean purists would deem impure. So that means Garth and Tula are unaffected by this spell, and Superboy and Miss Martian are also unaffected because they're not Atlanteans. So that's that happens, but fortunately Topo arrives and he uses an ink cloud to protect his classmates that are affected by Ocean Master's spell. Although he too is affected by the spell, so he can't really fight off the Atlantean purists. He can only rescue his classmates. Fortunately, though, Superboy is able to use his infrared vision to see the Atlantean purists even with the ink cloud, so he's able to take advantage of the ink cloud to fight off the Atlantean purists. And one of them escapes, but the young heroes planned for this Atlantean purist to escape because Miss Martian is following the Atlantean purist and she's staying out of the Atlantean purist's line of sight thanks to her camouflage ability. And she's established a psychic link so that she can let the others know where the Atlantean purist is going, which will lead them to Ocean Master and Queen Mera. The location where Ocean Master and Queen Mera are located. Although most of Aqualad's classmates are too worn out by the effects of Ocean Master's spell, so Garth and Tula think that maybe they and Superboy should accompany Miss Martian in taking care of Ocean Master, but Aqualad and Lori Lemaris are still, while they are weakened by the spell, they still are they're in better condition compared to their classmates. And Aqualad insists that he and Lori should go with them because they need as many allies as they can against Ocean Master. Lori also thinks that the Atlantean purists will use this as an excuse to justify their actions. Or she thinks that the Atlantean purists will think along the lines of, oh, you had to have pure Atlanteans fight your battles for you, so that just proves our point. So yeah, that's another reason that Lori adds for why she and Aqualad should accompany Superboy, Garth, and Tula with confronting Ocean Master. The next scene takes us to Teton County, and we're with a scene that features Tio Morrow, Jim Lockhart, and Danette Reilly. So Tio Morrow uses a laser scalpel to remove the artificial skin of Jim Lockhart and Danette Reilly. Yes, artificial skin. As it turns out, Jim Lockhart and Danette Reilly are actually Red Torpedo and Red Inferno. And Tio Morrow comments that they still have yet to complete the family reunion. So we're back underwater now. And Queen Mera tries to convince Ocean Master not to continue his plan, if only for the sake of her and Aquaman's unborn child. But Ocean Master responds that's part of his plan. His intentions are not just to claim Mera's powers as his own, but what he intends to do is, it turns out he had the Atlantean purists attack the Atlanteans that they would consider impure within the capital because he wanted to cause unrest among the citizens of Atlantis, which he's hoping will lead to a civil war in Atlantis. He's hoping that that Atlanteans from the city-states will try to retaliate to avenge the fallen Atlantean citizens, the Atlantean citizens that fell victim to the Atlantean purists. He's hoping this will cause a civil war. And he's hoping that because Aquaman will be in despair over his wife and unborn child's demise, he won't be able to rein in the Civil War. And if the Civil War goes through, then Atlantis will fall apart, and then Ocean Master can reconstruct it with him in control, and he'd be the ruler. And the Atlantean purist who returned to the cave, who's revealed to be Renal, overhears this, and he's quite horrified to realize that Ocean Master used the Atlantean purist's prejudiced mindset for his own advantage and to cause harm to Aquaman and Atlantis as a whole. So Renal intends to fight against Ocean Master, and Ocean Master admits it probably was unwise for him to monologue about his true intentions, but he decides there's nothing else that can be done about it, so he might as well just fight off everyone who tries to oppose him. And yes, Miss Martian is still in camouflage mode. She's trying to use her telekinesis to take Neptune's trident from Ocean Master, but he's able to catch on and he's able to attack her with his magic. And Superboy, Aqualad, Garth, Tula, and Lori Lemaris also arrive to battle Ocean Master. But Ocean Master says that he's able to take on any of them very easily, even when he's not performing at his best. But he is performing at his best, or at least not at... This isn't his worst performance, essentially, is what he's saying. And he is able to destroy Superboy's breathing mask so that he'll drown. But Miss Martian is able to use CPR to keep him from drowning. And the rest of the classmates continue to try to fight Ocean Master. And eventually, Garth is able to use the power of Tempest to loosen Ocean Master's grip on Neptune's trident. He's still able to hold on to it, but because his grip was loosened a bit, it interrupts the spell that Ocean Master was performing. So, and during that interruption, Mera was able to fully recover. She's very quick at recovering, she comments, and she intends to unleash her full power against Ocean Master. Ocean Master acknowledges that he won't be able to succeed, so he's able to create a distraction so he can escape. So now we're back in Poseidonus, and we find out from... Sha'ark is not happy about the fact that Aquaman had pardoned Renal, but Sha'ark's classmates clarify that it was because Renal had switched sides and he did help them fight against Ocean Master. And we do actually head to the throne room of Atlantis. We head to the Atlantis throne room where Aquaman has returned from his mission with the Justice League, and he congratulates Aqualad, Superboy, and Miss Martian for a job well done. And Orm says that he'll find whoever gave him the misleading... He'll find out the ones who gave the... Orm says that he'll see what he can find out about the individuals that gave the false sources about the potential locations, which led both groups into an ambush. Aqualad thanks the royal family and says that he'll be returning to the surface because he wants to see Superboy and Miss Martian off as they go to their first day of school. That's right, Superboy and Miss Martian need to get back to the surface because they're going to start their first day of school, and Aqualad wants to see them off on their trip. And that's how we end the issue. So we now have part 2 of the 2-part story that focuses on Ocean Master. We've now discussed both parts of that story on this channel. And like I said before, I do appreciate that this 2-part story actually gave Ocean Master a chance in the spotlight, because Ocean Master in particular stands out as one of the characters that felt like they were wasted characters in the TV series. Ocean Master stands out in particular because he's a member of the Light, the main villains, so it really stood out in particular for Ocean Master. Although, as I mentioned in the video for the previous issue, this story, at least the idea of the Atlantean purists causing trouble in Atlantis, that story was meant to be the 8th episode of the TV series, but Warner Brothers, for some reason, vetoed the idea, and they didn't want the story to go to waste, though, so they repurposed it in the tie-in comics to be set in between Bereft and Targets, the 9th and 10th episode of the TV series. And Downtime took the place as the 8th episode of the TV series. I still wish that we did have, I still wish Ocean Master had a chance to have a central role in the TV series itself, mostly because I'm interested in seeing how Roger Craig Smith would have performed Ocean Master differently from Orm. They're the same character, but naturally Orm projects himself differently when he's Orm compared to when he presents himself as Ocean Master. So I do want to know, how would Roger Craig Smith have performed Ocean Master's voice differently from Orm's voice? But all the same, I am glad that they were able to give Ocean Master some kind of role within the Earth-16 universe. Even if it wasn't within the TV series itself, at least they still were able to incorporate him in some way within a story. And otherwise, yeah, that's right. The other big thing, the subplot from the previous issue, part 1, we do get a conclusion for that. So the T.O. Morrow subplot, and we do find out that Jim Lockhart and Danette Reilly are actually Red Torpedo and Red Inferno, Red Tornado's siblings. And this ties into episode 12 of the TV series Homefront. So that was a good thing, because not only did this story give Ocean Master a chance to shine as a villain, but it also set something up for a future episode in the TV series. Future within the context of the timeline, that is. So that was a good thing, and they did that before in the tie-in comics, set up things that ended up happening in episodes that happened later on in the timeline, so it's good they were able to do that again here. Otherwise, another thing I noticed was how this 2-parter, when you put the titles together, they actually form a sentence. Like, Under the Surface, Here There Be Monsters is the full title. And that's similar to the 3-parter before, the Clayface 3-parter, which formed The Pit, The Pendulum, and The Penalty. So that was pretty clever, I thought, how they had those titles, how they had, like, those titles form a sentence or a phrase or whatever you want to say, a chain of words, how they had that for the multi-parters that were connected in some way. And otherwise, actually, I think that might be about it, actually. So I did enjoy this story for allowing us to see more of Atlantis, get to know Aqualad's classmates, like whether it's Garth and Tula, who we didn't really get to see too much of in the TV series itself, and some of the other classmates that we didn't really see, or at most only really had a cameo within the TV series, so it was nice they brought attention to those characters. Otherwise, though, yeah, that's it for now. As of this video, we've now discussed issue 15 of the Young Justice tie-in comics on this channel. Take care, and until next time.